All right, guys. So 3 minutes to the market open. Good morning. Good morning. Let's do this. What we got a continuation of the strength in the market. I mean, you can't get ahead of this little price action. If it wants to go up, it wants to go up, right? Hey, Ethan, how are you, buddy? Good morning. Good morning, Becca. Good morning, Sheila. Good morning, Phone 2. Who's that? Let us know who you are. And Marty, good morning. Safe, good morning. Ethan, good morning. Let's get this show on the road. I'm just checking orders just to see how things are. Yeah, it looks like we're just fine. $53s. All right, so let's talk about the opening range very quickly here. We're almost there. So we have an opening range that's from 62 to 90, and we just opened it up. So it closed right here. So now we're breaking that opening range. We have two mids, 32s and '08. So let me type this in for everybody. I'll just say the opening range between 60 to 90, and two mids are 33 and 8. All right, you see it? So those are the levels that the market needs to kind of continue to hold in order for us to continue to go higher. This zone right here between that 30, 33 and 08. So we're measuring strength against that, right? Yes, they're still holding up. I mean, our target is 102.5, right? We're starting to go into the 90 level here. So watch that 63, that zone, because that's the top end of the opening range. So if the market comes up to it and holds, it's a big deal. It looks like we're going to get there. See, so it tried once to hold it. Now you got something else coming up. 54. So we're starting to dig into the top end of the opening range right here. Like you would expect the market to hold this. Right here. We have a market that is out of sync right now. The market is out of sync. They're trying. They're trying to hold it. They're defending this zone big time. I mean, they're trying multiple times to take it out, and you have multiple things going on here. You have the top end of the Globex band, you have Harmony Zone number one. All these things are just coming in and holding the price in an uptrend. You break that 40, then you have a defense at the 30 level, 33 to 37, that the market can put on. Then where's Globex? Globex is 600. So they're going to try to defend it around the 30s too, but they're defending it even higher. I mean, they did it 4 times already. Market is out of sync, and there's a lot of strength though. They're attempting. This 84 is a big deal, which is target number 2. They're churning up. I mean, they put a switch trade, ran it up. They're trying to sell that structure, and they're still holding on to it. So most likely, if this continues, we're gonna get to 85s. Big picture. Let's talk about big picture here. What is the market doing? Coming into the top end of the opening range, and it's holding it. I mean, they broke up, came back, retested, held the 40s into the 60s, and the 60s is the top, 65. You kind of have to protect that again if we get to it. And then we have a target at 102. So signs of a long market. We don't have volatility in the form of massive selling pressure or fear-driven pressure. So it's really kind of orderly pullback and a buy into it. Anything under Globex, which is 2s, 2.5, you start, bringing price below that, then yes, I think you'll start getting a little bit more volatility and kind of selling pressure. Right now, it's just orderly buy the dip behavior. Market is decisively long. We are out of sync though, so we have to kind of resolve ourselves through that process. But we have the 63s and the 40s to protect the price structure, and if they fail, then this out of sync behavior can be meaningful in a different way. Here goes 63 again. Like, how many times are you going to defend the 63s? They're just loving that price. Captain setup switch trade can be an issue. Yeah, that's a problem right there. That's a captain setup switch trade short. So you're gonna get a little bit of a push lower, and we'll see how far they want to go with it. $53.5. Yeah. What time is it? Okay, so it's still early. We're just reading through the price action, trying to figure out what's important to this market today. What is the market holding near and dear to it? Hey Del, how are you? Good morning. Hmm. 53 didn't quite get there. No 10. All right, some selling pressure coming in. Here comes the 33s. I'm just gonna take a shot at it at 33 here, and we'll see. I don't want to go anything over 50, otherwise I have to cancel my order. Yeah, that kind of takes that away. Yep. Damn it. Canceling. I wanted that 33. Market did not get there. It may get there the second attempt. So there is a little bit of a follow through on the sell pressure. We're coming into areas where the market needs to kind of defend and hold. And you could see that there is a pickup in speed, and it started with this captain setup switch trade short. And the minute we saw that, I was like, all right, they're going to be pulling this, but how far? I don't know if you guys took that trade or not. I'm spending a little bit of time just kind of reading the market. That's your baby, right? Safe? Yep, I know it. It is a good trade. You see Captain Sub switch trade anywhere. I mean, you see, they're still defending the 40s. They're locking the 40s. Market is out of sync, though. Market is out of sync. We should hit the low 30s here in a minute. Really on a momentum or unless we break glowbacks, there are opportunities to buy into this rotation. Okay, if we start breaking glowbacks, then that shifts the personality a lot. A lot of churning behavior right here around that 40. It's a fight. Just remember, we are at that middle of the opening range, the top end of that, which is, let's pull that chart up. It's literally to it. That's the opening. That's the opening range, the mid of the opening range on those two slots. So that zone is like you must protect that with your dear life. If you're long, that is the area where the market needs to just kind of chill out and stop selling. Then you need to break above that 70, and they're putting a captain setup long. Look at that, boom, right there. How did that happen? News in 5 minutes. Yep. Trade day code. Yeah, I'm not with them. I'm not an affiliate with them. Thank you for asking. Are you talking about trade day? Let me see here. Talking about this company? Man, there's so many out there. It's just kind of hard to keep up with them. They won't pay out all this stuff. No. I'll look into them, see what they're all about. See how that one worked out? I mean, that was just a must. I don't know. Okay, did you guys play around with that? I'm staying put to the news at the top of the hour, but maybe if you're a little bit aggressive, you could just kind of jump in on that one. Captain setup. Is that a captain setup? Nope. Yeah, on the 30 NT Renko, there was a captain setup. So I mean, what is the market telling me? It's just telling me that the bullish narrative is winning. We got 2 minutes. So the market is telling us the 30 to the 40 range, which is the neutral zone. That neutral zone is a very protective neutral zone. So now we know that that zone is protective, then the zone under it is also protective because it's the opening range, the middle of the opening range for today. So now you have two blocks of prices that are a solid protective wall to any pullback. And if they chew through them, then you know that the market is gonna flip the script and start selling off, because there's a lot of hold on. It's out of whack. Okay, so back to that idea. So yeah, so that zone, then we had that 40 to the 30 zone that got punted in. So the top end of that zone to 40 all the way down to that '07. That is our protective zone for all the longs. So we have to measure our long against a break here and below Globex. Putting the captain setup short right here. Market is in sync on the long side. Another captain setup switch trade. Last one paid out very nicely. So we'll see. This probably will go down to the 50s and the 46s. Mm-mm. Yeah, this one did not move that much. Okay, well, so 904, market is strong. Momentum is still there. We're just struggling in this little zone right here, which is fine. I think we tested the 63 7 times and held it for 10 plus points, meaning we hit 63 7 times and made 10 points or more. So that's the floor, where 63 to the 56s need to hold, then you have these two levels under it that need to hold. But the market is long. The next target is 102.5 and reevaluate under 33s. Pullbacks are viable on a swing trade basis. Here they come. Bit of a rejection. Let's see it. Wow, okay, that 54, 53. Wow, we need to start moving above 70 here soon. Okay. That's better. Gotta protect that 50s, low 50s, gotta protect that. I mean, they're just churning people in that zone, in and around that 60. I mean, there's a cause for me to go 60 and look for 80 and potentially into the 93s. Because, I mean, the market is basing and you have two floors right under it. And, you know, so when they start picking up the stops above 75, 80, the market will speed up. I mean, we flatlined in the past, what is that, 10 minutes or so. Like literally the price has not changed this choppy mode. So that's the base. You break the base. They could literally break the base and come back and run. So I'm going to watch this clearly and be patient and keep reading through the price structure. I know what would constitute a short, what would constitute a long, environment versus behavior. The environment is long. The behavior here is mixed, but it favors the longs. So that's kind of the direction I need to be favoring. And, you know, you start breaking anything under 50, I think, you know, that argument will start struggling. I mean, they're putting a captain setup short on the 30 into Renko right now. So that could not be, I mean, that's a cause for concern. But I'm not going short. And I want to wait for the longs to mature a little bit because they're building stops right now. Yep. Let's see it. 68. I mean, that is just 58 half. Here they come. You know they want it. They want that 75.80. They just keep inching toward it. And then they price the market lower. Hmm. 63 one more time, right? One more time, baby. One more time. 63, 50, and go to 73.50 and run. It is a chop fest, and I could see them doing that, and that's why I'm not playing the game here. Like literally, we hit that level 8 times and ran up 10 points or higher. I mean, this could be the 9th. Yeah. That's an awesome observation, Adam. You're reading the market, and that's part of reading the market is just figuring out what is the market saying in relation to important levels, and do I need to participate or not. And for me, we're getting close. We're really getting close. $63. Like an entry here at 67s has a stop under 50, and you're running up toward target of 102 and a half. Like it's not too far. We're not too far, man. They're inching toward it. Yeah, we're dancing around the top end of the opening range too. They're eventually going to decide that there's a lot more stops on the short side and coming up between 76 to the 82. Pick those off and run. And you're going to run to the 93s fairly quickly. But you gotta start chewing through those stops to get, and you have to get there. News due because of the government shutdown. Yeah. Patience is a trade, my friend. Patience is a trade. Yep. Here we go back to that 60s, low 60s. 53s. Patience, my friend, patience. 53, 53, 43. Yeah, like what? Nine times. We hit that level 9 times. You know how I know exactly 9 times? I'll show you this in a second. I built yesterday. I built a tracker that tells me which level is getting hit and how many times and what's the outcome of that hit. Did it go up 10 points, 20 points, whatever? So that tells me that this mid range got hit and held 9 times in the life of the session. So that tells me right there how strong that level is. Yeah, it's struggling a little bit more now. The 50. Where's the 50? Where's my 50? That's the 30. That's the 70. Where's my 50? Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the 50. I mean, really, if you look at it, I mean, we have the opening range and we're just breaking and testing, breaking and testing. We came into the mid here, which is the 33s, and bounce back. But if we pull another candle up at 76 and a half, I think the hundreds and the 150 become very possible for us. And we cannot break anything under this level, that zone. Man, like 40, almost 45 minutes, over 45 minutes. Most people will just blow up their accounts trying to predict where this thing is going to go. And when we look at this, there's such a big temptation to short because the market has run up so much over the past, like, okay, yesterday, uh, gap and go, and was relentless. So a lot of traders right now are just thinking, buying puts. They're thinking in terms of looking for reversal patterns. There it's. I'm thinking in those terms too, but I don't feel like we're there yet. I mean, we need that sharp break in the market, and if it does, then yeah, I will look into it. But here you go again. And by the way, that's the second time we test this 53 level. I'll tell you this, 33 and a half level, if we get to it on a flush, the 33 and a half to the 50 to the 13, that's just a level that you'll get a bit of a bounce back if we get there. Hmm. So they took out the base, ran stops, and how did they treat them? They bought them. You make lower highs. Yeah, we could start talking about, hey, listen, yeah, the market is weaker than average here, but if they run above 76, then the market is ready. Market is still in sync, so I'm simply just reading through it. I'd like to put on a trade. Lower highs. See, the only problem with the 33s, yeah, it's just you're breaking the 100. No, the market would be out of sync. And I'm just going to tell you, that level got defended twice, never broke, and ripped up twice, meaning that we got there and just shot up and held that level. So that would be the third time coming to that level. It's worth 10 points or so. I'm gonna just take a 5 minute break and I'll be back. So it's not like we're missing much, right? All right, so that was that 33 level. I mean, literally we got there. 33, 33 and a half, and it just bounced back. And that was the level that is defended. So the market is out of sync. Yeah, that was gangster, baby. That 33 level was on point. Here we go again. I had to be honest with you. I mean, I put a small order at 33, 33 and a quarter, and when I walked, but I put it in micro because just 3 micros just to see if it's gonna hold up. And this is how that trade executed for me, literally to the tick, and boom. All right, so now we're visiting multiple times, right? And now we're starting to chew through those levels, and that is an issue. Okay, so we're back and forth, low. Let me see, 2 2. We're still in this zone right here, trying to protect that 33 level. Yo, Clip Central, how are you? All right, market is out of sync now. Let me see. This is going to be an out of sync trade. A little bit more weakness coming into the market. This is the key. So speed, range, and behavior. Speed is, I would call this slow. Range is contracting. Behavior, the trend is long, but we got a pocket of sellers that are trying to challenge the narrative here. And they're not very convincing, be honest with you. I mean, they're just inching the price lower, not really a lot of volatility or emotions. Personality is lukewarm to the shorts. So there's no speed in it. I think if we ever get to Globex, which is 2.5, 26,000, two and a half, then you may start getting a little bit of more emotions out of this market. But the personality right now is they're not very excited about the shorts. They're walking it down and holding it from rallying hard. I get that part. But markets like that will tend to run stops very quickly when the real buyers start to come in. Where would that idea change is 13 and a half, we get there, we bounce. And then if we fail into Globex, and that will start to change the narrative. If we start breaking above 60, pullbacks are viable on a swing trade basis again. So those are the areas in which we test or we look for. Here you go. How's everybody doing so far? Where we at? See if he's watching. Okay. Adam's up 700 on one eval. Okay, that's good. Doing what? What did you do? No trades for me yet? Becca, that's discipline right there. Why? And Marty, Marty is trading like a crazy man. He's up $2,000. The hell did you do? There you go. You took one short. You only made 3 trades and you made $2,000. Good for you. Going long, or did you play the short game? All right, let's see here. What is going on? 25s. All right, we got orders right here. If they flush sell into it, we'll see if we can get there. Yep, they're gonna flush sell into it. Trying to scare people. My stop is gonna be 93. Yeah, we'll see. See if I can get filled. It's almost like this is the last line of defense for the longs. Yeah, and we'll be very close to the 8, and the 8 is the bottom. That's the other. That's the second. That is the second mid range, the '08. So from 13.5 to '08, I think we'll be okay. Here they come. We don't want to bounce. Like if we bounce back to the 30, I would have to kind of cancel my order. Oh, you better not do this to me right here. You gotta be kidding me. That's just illegal right there. I gotta cancel it. That's illegal. Oh, watch it go to 30 right now. That would be an easy 15 points all day. Ooh. And coming back? Like if you come that close to it and not fill me, I'm not gonna just stick around and get a bounce and then come back into it. So now let's see the halves and how they act here. We may not even get to the halves. These bastards. They're probably going to put a captain set up long and run it. We'll see. Yep. Watch the 30 come in. They're going to be running it up here. Run into the 30s. Taking a break. Short again, but late to the party. The key is 02. Okay, so that is not... So we got to 2675 out of that entry. I mean, if we had it, I mean, we missed it by like 2 ticks. And I'm not going to chase anything here. So the fact that the market is doing this, that's just weakness. And this is harmony zone number 2, which is support. If we fail into glowbacks, then that is a shift in personality that we need to take note of. That is a poker player wise words right there. If you can't tell who's the fish, it's you. I love it. I love it. Ah, they're coming. Coming, defending, defending, defending. Okay. Yep. They held it. I mean, that's ultimately they came into that 13 and a half and held it. And that's just the story here. So that tells me like sometimes I gotta take the second attempt at it. You know, I'm a little bit too picky, I guess, today. God dang it. Come on, baby, let's go. Hmm. Like literally at 13 half. 13 and a half, 23, 33, and 43. Wow. That's a 30-point move. It is the mother of all chops over here. Oof. They're holding the price, protecting that 13 and a half, coming into the 33, which is a level that, has been contested. We ran up once we hit it the first time around, about 20 points. Kim challenged it, flushed under to the 13, and now the market is just responding back and backing and filling in and around that. That's just a pattern of buyers stepping in. So where's momentum? I mean, obviously it's a slow price action, but if we break above the 55, then the 33s are back in action again on the long side if we get there, and pullbacks are back in action. And then we have the big target of 102 on a swing trade basis coming in. So the 50s, 55s will trigger a lot of behavior that is a continuation behavior to the upside. If we happen to break 20 again, then the weakness will persist. And it's not weakness that is not challenged. The buyers are stepping in and picking up value at stop runs. So I'm personally would not be too excited about getting short. I need to see fear stepping in, and we don't see it yet. See that zone that we talked about? Came and challenged it, came into the mid of the opening range, the second mid, or actually this is the first mid, this is the second mid. And then they just hit it. They hit the 13, then came into the 08 and just bounced right back up. So that's just a bullish defense. We still need to break 55, so we will have a shot at 65. We are right now in the neutral zone, and that's just notorious for choppiness in a low volume market. And it's a market that's out of sync. So right now, it's the best thing to do is chill and watch. I mean, there's opportunities to micro scalp. 2.5 points here and there. And actually that 13.5 gave you 30 points. We had this one here for 10 points at 33s. We had, what is this, 23. I didn't play that game. 50, 33, 56. So we have defended the 30 level 5 times right now. Broke it once by 20 points and just reversed. So that tells me it's a defensive line here between 40 and 30 for the market. And the 55 will trigger a lot of buyers to come back into the game. I'm gonna ask the chat a question here, and I'll do it for both YouTube and Zoom. Another rejection at that 50. Back to that 33. It's like, how many times are you gonna test that? Yeah, well, okay, so the market is back in sync. That's going to be about the 6th time that they do this. I mean, if they close anything above 45, yeah, they're going to run this bad boy up. There's a good chance that we will see 50 and run. That's the 6th time, okay. You get to the 53 and you start taking out the stops right above it, that'll pick up some momentum. There you go. Yeah, you gotta pick, you gotta start playing with that 55. Support test number 6 of this range. There you go, baby. Let's go. So that's the test right here. Even if they pull it back a little bit, as long as they make a higher low, you will get that push. So there's a bunch of stops just sitting there. They took him out and paused. Most likely they're going to pull it back a little bit. And as long as they don't take the 33 out, we have a shot at that continuation. What do you guys think about that question that I posed? Because I'm looking for ways to kind of improve the conversation that we're having in the room. So what works for you? What's important to you? Okay. So levels, personality, and spotting the traps. Like when we say spotting the trap, in the form that, hey, listen, these levels, like okay, when we're talking about 13 and it has to hold and all that good stuff, what we're saying is a buy here will trap the shorts. So really, we should be buyers of it, not sellers of that. So talking about what potentially could be a trap, and if we're saying a level is important, why is it important? And second, maybe how many times that level has been defended and what was the outcome of the defense? How many times did it break down and why and to what degree? Maury, I'm interested in the levels that the market may go to Okay. Okay. Like the conversation we were having about personality, where we said, hey, listen, the market is slow. The market, so speed, range. Range is back and forth, contracting, and then gets back in sync. Third, um, levels, why, and why they're important. I'm gonna make a list. So I'm gonna copy everything that you guys are telling me right now. I'm gonna make a list and then focus on the top most important three things. And just kind of maybe when I talk about the market, have him, hey, personality, levels, traps, what we should do, or what is the best probability trade here. So this way, every time I'm talking in that sequence, and I'm not jumping around all over the place without a mental template that you guys can follow, if that makes sense. I wonder if there is a way to, I may get involved in that, but to hardcore personality. Like what would be, how would we measure emotions in the market anyway? Speed, average rotation, capacity for defense uh, or not. So that could be, but volatility is just one aspect, because when you have a volatile market, that's an emotional market. But within emotions, you have anger, you have, you know, what else? Excitement, volatility, speed. So speed is a big one. Hesitation, like if you come to a level and then you bounce, that's a hesitation. So you could have volatility and hesitation. I don't know if it makes sense to actually kind of think in these terms, because ultimately you have to quantify it in a way that you could measure. Can you measure emotions in the market? You could describe it. Something to think about. That 55, they needed to show a little bit more conviction above there, right? Let me tape this. There we go. Save chat. Here we go. So that's the conversation we're having. I'll go in there and I'll study everything that you guys told me and come up with a template for the conversation we're having in the room. So this way it's a little bit more organized. I'm telling you, 33, I mean, they're just loving that level. How many times have we done it now? We probably, if we break 47, it has to break 47. But if it does, then we're numbers. That would be test number 7 for that market in that zone. Sometimes a slow market can just expose a lot of farming trades. And I don't know if you guys have heard that level before. I mean that term before, where just the market is slow, but slow and predictable around range, and then the high frequency traders will just sit there in the range and buy bid sell offer all day long and just make a killing. So when we find a market that is doing this, like if I can measure speed and say, okay, this is slow market, then we apply the farming strategy. Here we go. That's test number 7 on this one. They're holding these levels, man. They are. FOMC tomorrow. Yep. Are they going to have it with a government shutdown, or are they going to just... They should, right? So Marty, do you perform better in a slow market versus a fast market, or it just depends on the day? Okay. Oh, Captain set up switch trade. Here you go. That should hold. If it holds 40, we're pushing to 55 again. What? They're gonna flip that script on people? Double captain setup here? I mean, that tells you a break here, then a break there under 35. Oh yeah, they're killing. There's no volatility for premium. This market is dead, like it's not a mover. That's for sure. But there's always opportunities. There's always opportunities. Sometimes it's really kind of better to trade like a slow market and just not You could position better. You could not get whipsawed. But that means you have to hold on a little bit longer, right? A lot longer. Is it? Yeah, I think it's today. The Apex 80% discount. I think it ends in 12 hours. So if you're trying to reload, today is the time. So I have 20 PA accounts and I have these. Here we go. Let me show you. Where's my charts? Here we go. I have these evaluation accounts. I cannot pass them because I'm already tapped out on my 20. And I got these accounts all the way like to that, like $100, couple of $100 away from passing. And they're just gonna sit there till I, hopefully I don't lose any of my 20, but if I do, then I'll just get another trade here and just move it to PA. But I'm tapped out on that. Yeah, this is my 20 right here. So hopefully we start getting some more payouts here in a minute. David saying really the levels and the 70 and the 100. Okay, I'll add that. I mean, we're talking about him anyway, but it just okay. So let's dig deeper. When we're talking about the levels, what about the levels are we needing to know that is important to you? Like, okay, so when I was talking about 13 and a half, or okay, we're saying, hey, listen, or the 33, I'm saying, okay, this is important because if we break under it, we have a defense under that, then the target should be this, and that's why. So that's the conversation that I'm having in my head. What else within that conversation that's important? Like, what else can I add to that conversation that I'm not doing already? I mean, I cannot tell. That's funny. I cannot tell you this trade is going to work. And only give you the ones that work, right? Okay. Yeah, let me get my crystal ball up there. Yeah, here you go. I mean, yeah, they're chopping it up a little bit, but they're holding 33, man. I'm telling you, it's just a rocket. It's a base. It's a floor to price action. Yeah, that's not because it needs to go to. So back to these statistics right here. The that 3350 level is just it got tested times, broke once. So that's a solid one. Then the 63, which is above it, uh, I mean, obviously, it eventually ended up, breaking, but it was such a floor where we hit it 9 times before it collapsed into the lower ladder in price action. So that tells you something about the personality of the day and how the market is just literally stair steps and spends a lot of time basing. And if it doesn't have enough on the upside, it takes a measured pullback, and it does the same exact thing. That's a function of personality right there. And on a first touch basis, whenever you get to these critical levels, you're getting a bounce that is significant. Now you're getting a second and a third and a fourth. In a momentum market, you may get, you know, two touches, 3 touches, then the price, if it wants to go down, it just fails. You're not getting as much as like 9 touches or 7 touches. And then it stair steps down. So that's just a personality deal here. Back to that 33. Scene of the crime. We're getting a little bit of speed here, a little bit of interest on the short side. I get it. What happened if we get to that 13 and a half range? We tested that one before. $26. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're going to get 13 here in a minute. Here you go. Yep. Market's out of sync here. Another attempt at 13 and more. We're getting something. We're back into that zone where 13 is relevant, and you could see how relevant it is. It's a 10-pointer or more. See that? Look at these sneaky bastards. Sneaky bastards. It got to that 13.5, boom, bounce. It's the sneaky bastards, man. I mean, very trappy. And I get that. I get that. That 13.5 was a critical level. and if the market pauses here, you just know that the retest is going to be 28. You start breaking anything above 28, that means they're just rolling people over. It's a trappy market. So the fuckers will probably run it up to the 100 now, 102, because that's just a lot of people that just got sucked into this little thing. Damn, I just saw your notes, Adam. Sorry about that, bud. That was a rough one, I know. I mean, just the idea here is the 13 and a half is a defensive line against Globex. So if it's holding, the add to this trade should be in and around 28. 28 to like 23 to 28, because you're testing the middle of the range, and if it just slicing right through it, so like you almost had to see a one candle reversal here to add, and if you didn't see that, then it's an out. You take your money and you're out, especially in a strong environment. Now look what they just did. They put a captain setup long on the 100. Back to the 33. Like, I'm so tempted to just buy 33, like right here. 33, I'll get 43 out of it, 10 points easy, and just go break even after the 33 and look for 55, 60. Stop under 13. There you go. Go 43. We should get to 43. They need the 43 though here. That's struggling. I mean, if I want to scalp this thing, I'll go captain setup right here at 40 and look for 45 for 5 points. I like the 33. Now they're gonna start running up. Come on, you already know you want to do that. 40, and then you go to 45.50. You have to get to 40 first, and then I think the market will speed up a little bit. Here it comes. Let's go. Let's go. Market is in sync on the long side with a captain setup on the 100 NT Renko. And we may see a big push now in the market. I think that flush kind of wiped out a bunch of people. And it was just the last drop before a major move. And target is 102. Here it comes. Captain setup, switch trade. We struggled with that level here where the market can actually put a double captain setup. So that's just the same spot, right? So we really need to break 55.60 for momentum to pick up. And then we can get to the target of 102.5. So what is that? That is like 5, 10 points that the market just put on, and it's sitting there. It needs to go up there. It doesn't need to give me another captain setup. Yeah, just struggling, but ultimately, you need momentum. I mean, one of the reasons why we're stuck here is that's the top end of the opening range, and the market doesn't have momentum. So let's just go back to that right here, 60 to 65. So right here, I mean, that's the 65, but that's the 55. Yeah, that's the opening range. I mean, but the good news is making a higher low, and that's why we said the 33 here. I really needed to get in there. I'm just gun shy about trading today for some reason. I'm seeing the price action. It's just too slow, and I needed to kind of spend some time reading it. But the 33 is holding. Now you're getting the push. That switch trade held even after it was struggling that much. And now you get 65s, and we have a whole lot of distribution going on up here between that 65 and the 70. So we'll see how they handle that deal, and then off you go. I mean, but the market is telling us a lot. It's just telling us that that zone right here, that opening, and we're going to be monitoring that zone every single day. The two levels between the opening ranges, the mid of it, that just it's just an area of a great deal of interest. You get a lot of bounces off of it once you come to it, and the market really spends time trying to figure that zone out, which if you're trying to scalp the market, that's just the perfect place for price action to sell into it, and then you buy into a bounce. So we're going to be watching that, you know, every single day. It's just a huge piece of information that's very helpful. So if I'm thinking in terms of short, I mean, Adam, I know this is a tough break for you today, but you almost have to see that zone give out and a retest of it comes in before an aggressive short. You know, versus the impulse that we have, which is it sells off, I want to get in early. And early sometimes is early into a trap. You're not you're unless you're just super scalping it for 5-10 points, you know. And that's what the market does. You have to, the market has to give away a major level and retest it in order for the market to shift personality. So now we got that going on. Switch trade into a rally, and this rally may pick up some stream and just go, because you got a captain set up on the 100. You got market is in sync on the long side. I mean, the picture is just improving for the longs. And I didn't realize it's 11 o'clock. I did not realize it. Good job, Marty. For a tough day like that, that's excellent work. 2,600 bucks. Good job, buddy. I know it's not it's a hard market to read through. So today, I mean, I have just one account that I traded twice with micro and kind of left it alone up 68 bucks. Not really a big, I mean, I could call that a flat day, but it's a positive day. I feel like, we kind of improved our reading of the market skills. The 52, yeah, that's a switch trade. That was a tricky one, David. That was not a, because it just kept testing the bottom end of that candle, and whenever it does that, it typically turns back in and close, and it did that last time. So for it to work here was just a great thing to see. I'm sure you were stressing it out. You're like, damn it, they're gonna double captain set up me here. That's a good day, Joseph. That's a good day. See? Boom. Now the momentum steps in. The ultimate trap. Fuckers right there. All right, so across the board, how's everybody doing? Becca, did you play? Did anything make sense to you? Oh, we got a. Oh, you're playing eval today, right now, or still holding? No PA. Good for you. You held from captain setup on a PA 40 to 80, 40 points. Uh, you need to take over this room. You'll get it. 93. Look for 93. First of all, when you're going to get to the 83 and the market is going to pause, you just have to survive that. And the pullback may be a bit significant. So, you may get 63, then run back up to the 93. So you have to kind of prep yourself for that type of behavior. That's good stuff. On a day like that, Joseph, that's incredible. Here we go. Adam's back in the game. Let's go. Up 3,500 on one eval. Went all in. Uh, 15 contracts on evals. Go for it, baby. Go for it. See that 80s, how it's holding? So you got to survive that pullback, and then you get 93. Homie, don't play that. That's right. Oh, where did it go? How come we didn't? Oh, because it's looking for. Why is it low bid? Here you go. You're getting that pullback, and the pullback was a slight one. Now they're on to 93. Can come in. But, the 84 is just a problem. So the 83 is going to be a bit of a problem. But the narrative is just gearing up to the longs. I mean, obviously, but. Here comes at 83. All right, here comes the 83. Okay. Then you're gonna get a pause here. I mean, any pause that will hold 66.75. So I mean, as long as we hold on to that, 93 is gonna happen quick. So it could pause, come back in, retest, make a higher low, hit target number 2 at 73.5, then hold that one. And if it does, then 93 is just boom, like that. I'm just staying in the room just to watch Becca make money. That's what I'm doing right now. It's just you have to survive 83. That's the one. You know, and I know it's you get impatient here because the upside to the downside, you're just waiting for another 10 points. You know, so if you have multiple contracts, obviously you would have been odd, but most likely you just have one contract left, you know, in this trade. So you just, it's one of those things. You could take it here, but you have to be comfortable seeing it at 93 in a few seconds. I can talk you through it if you want to. You could just trail it behind that 76, because literally if we break that, that's an exhaustive formation, and you'll see 68 very quickly. So it's either gonna burst here, or that reversal will bring the price to where you could reload. Because that 83 is, yeah, it's either gonna pop here or it's gonna give you that push toward the 66s and to retest. So 77 as a stop is a good trailing stop, and you just take your money, and then you're gonna watch it run up to 93 after that. Sorry to tell you, because that's the way it works, right? Every time. 37 points is awesome. Here it comes. You're out. In a market like this, that's incredible, be honest with you. That's a good trade. I mean, the captain setup was just a good sign. A good sign. Switch trade into a switch trade. That's another good sign. It's just I'm happy to see you holding on to things a lot longer, which is really great. So you're out of that trade, right? I can leave now, right? All right, good job, Becca. Good work, good work. That's it for me. I'm gonna call it a day and do this again tomorrow. All right, guys, good job. See you on the next one.